What it do with the phone? Hey. Hey. Let's get it. Yeah. Let's cook. Cook up. Let's work. Talk some shit. And put them in the dirt. Hey. Hey. Going in the day. Let's get it. Shout out to the Reaper gang, man. Inspiration behind this live stream, you feel me? Let's get it. What up, Zach? What up, Felix? Yo, Los, what it do with the phone? Tell all them niggas, come get this work. Hey, we going in today. Hey, this work. This DT3, man. Put all the bullshit in the dirt. Yay! Time on in. Bring a friend. Make sure you come on the next live. Do it again. What it do with the folk? What it do with the folk? Go tell your friends. Go get this smoke. Yee. Come on in, y'all. What it do with the business is, man? Boy, DT3, the Boom Beezy, and yeah, you know what it is, man. Back at you again with another Box Talk podcast, man. Box Talk 180. The era of excuse. Shout out to my boy 3K the Boss Man, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Just did a playback game, watched his live stream just now, and it just gave me a simple motivation to do my own live stream. So I want to send special to my nigga if he don't get no bigger. 3K, man, aka Mr. Two Hands Up, the Reaper. Shout out to my dog. It's something that a lot of boxing fans have been saying when it comes to particular fighters. And you always hear the thing about certain fighters ain't worth this, they not worth that, ain't no money here, ain't no money there. Excuse me. Right, you hear that all the time. Yet and still, you see fighters like Gervonta Tank Davis, Jamal Charlo, living in a very extravagant house, having in a very extravagant lifestyle, and yet and still, when it comes to them fighting top level opposition, which you get paid a lot of money to fight top opposition, for some reason these dudes can't do that. For some strange reason, these dudes are saying that these guys that are supposed to be top level opposition, they can fight them because no fans, there's no money, it's all these excuses. But then when you see their next opponent, nobody know about this dude, and they gotta hype him up like he's some threat to them, right? And this dude is worth more money than arguably a world champion, regardless of how many times he won a title. Just got a world title or a unification bout. You mean to tell me you'll make more money fighting the Montiels of the world, the Hugo Centenios, the Brandon Adams of the world? You'll make more money, the Mario Barrios of the world. You'll make more money fighting them than fighting somebody real. I didn't want to do this, but I got to call you out, bro. You my dog. You only about a few miles from me, but I got to call you out on some shit. There is no Fab Five in boxing. I get it. You have your own Fab Five, meaning your own fighters that you like, your own group. I get that. I'm not knocking that. That's cool. Have that. I'm just saying, as a whole in the sport, no. Shakur Stevenson is not going to take boxing to the next level. Not going to happen. Boots Ennis, not going to do it. Virgil Ortiz, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Ain't going to happen. Until the only person that I would say in Black and Brown's Fab Five or Ferocious Six that will actually may do something significant in boxing is Teofimo Lopez. And possibly Devin Haney. Possibly. But the excuse Shakur Stevenson came out with and the shit that he said yesterday pertaining to fighting Jamel Herring, bro, that's a grown-ass man. And I get it. I get it. You're young. You're feeling yourself. You know, you and Valdez, your names, because you are popular, not beating top opposites. You guys are just popular. Only person that got a decent, real good win on a resume between the two of you, Shakur, is Valdez because he just beat the actual boogeyman of the division in Miguel Burchell. Put him to sleep. Literally put that man to sleep. You dudes care more about building your fucking fan base up or trying to build up a fake-ass YouTube profile or Instagram, Twitter profile than really fighting the best motherfuckers out here. You painting this illusion. You're painting this fake-ass, whack-ass narrative that shouldn't be painted in the sport of boxing. You got Jermall Charlo calling Boo Boo Andrade a horrible fighter, terrible fighter, but here your bitch ass is fighting the Hugo Centenios and the Miguel of the motherfucking world. Who the fuck is these motherfuckers? Talking about you putting your life on the line and shit. Against who? Juan Montiel? Juan Montiel. What the fuck is Juan Montiel gonna do to you, Jermall? Real rap. Real nigga to real nigga. What the fuck is Juan Montiel gonna do to you, Jermall? What is he really gonna do? What threats do he significantly pose, Jermall? Real rap. Tank. What significant threats do Mario Barrios give you, Tank? Really? Don't tell me his size because all your sparring partners are middleweights. So his size ain't nothing new to you, cuz. So what about this Mario Barrios shit is a threat? Really? Okay, y'all selling this be bigger than Tank shit. That's what y'all selling. That's the bullshit y'all selling. The shit that y'all pulling on All Access on Showtime is bogus. Bogus. If I wasn't worried about y'all bitch ass niggas flagging my motherfucking live stream, I'd play it for the phone. I dissect your whole shit. That's probably why y'all flagging my shit now, because I dissect your whole shit. Y'all up one side, back down the other to prove you niggas is bogus. Showtime, PBC, you niggas is bogus. Bogus. Tank Davis ain't did nothing nowhere near along the lines of Floyd, pretty boy Floyd Mayweather, let alone Money Made. He ain't did shit. The stupidest narrative push was at the beginning of the goddamn episode of All Access with Tank Davis and Mario Barrios. Tank did not beat all the contenders at one. Who the fuck Tank beat at 130 aside from Pedraza? Who? Who Tank beat at 135 aside from Yorgis Gamboa? And Tank ain't even did shit at 140 yet. His first opponent at 140 is Mario Barrios, which nobody really know who the fuck he is of any significance. But it's okay for you to fight those dudes. What's up, Troy? It's okay for you to fight them and say, well, he's a champion. He's this, and he's that, and he's this, and he's that. Da, ba, da, ba, da, all this shit. It's cool to say that shit. It's cool to say that shit for Mario Morales. But you ain't saying that shit for Devin Haney. You ain't saying that shit for Teofimo Lopez because you bitch ass niggas ain't stars. Y'all punks. Y'all pussies. Y'all bitches. Y'all riding the coattails somebody else's fame and y'all building y'all profiles off that shit. Tyson Fury finna get on your 6'9" big bitch ass too. Enough. When is enough? When is enough? Jamal Charlo got this big ass house. Let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you real shit. Jamal and the Charlo brothers live in Texas. The cost of living in Texas is dirt motherfucking cheap. You can get at the house Jamal Charlo got, you get that shit off of like maybe 100, 200,000. And I'm sure he did that shit like many fights ago. So don't think the house you see with Jamal Charlo, that's $1 million home. That's probably $100,000 house. And I'm not saying it to shit on Jamal. I'm not saying it. I'm telling y'all, don't think he spent a whole extravagant amount of money on that shit. He live in Texas. The cost of living is shit. So he could take his fat ass checks he get from boxing and buy him a fat ass house and spend little to nothing. So those $3 million checks that he getting from the purse and money he get on the back end, he taking literally $1 million of that shit, buying houses, getting cars, all the shit, living it up. Look at the fights that Jamal Charlo has had in his career. And out of all the fights that he's had in his career, look at the life that he's able to live off of that. So he can fight nobody. You could be on PBC and fight nobody and live a lavish life. It's not about fighting nobody in PBC. It's not about that. It's about the bag, the check, and talking shit. Listen to Jamal talk. He has to sell Juan Montiel. Why, Jamal? Why do you have to sell Juan Montiel? The one thing I give him is that he didn't have to sell Derevyanchenko. He did not have to sell Derevyanchenko because everybody knew Derevyanchenko. Everybody knew who he was. So Maul didn't have to sell that shit. He didn't have to put no effort to hype Derevyanchenko up because everybody was like, yeah, he finally stepping his bitch ass up and fighting a decent opponent. Not a top opposition, just a decent opponent that everybody know that might be a little test for Jamal. Who the fuck is Juan Montiel, Jamal? Who is Juan Montiel? What threats do he really pose to you? Don't say he tough, he this. The nigga went 12 rounds to draw with Hugo Centineo, which you whooped in 2 rounds. So tell me the threat, Jamal. A motherfucker you beat in 2 rounds. Easy work. This nigga went life and death with for 12 whole rounds, bro. Where's the threat? Where? Don't worry. Somebody let me know. Let me know. You keep talking about Triple G, and I've been picked Triple G, Jamal. But I really think it's a in the both of y'all. I really do. Real rap. You don't want to unify with Boo Boo. You've been sent contracts to fight Boo Boo. You don't want to fight him. They saying you ducked Boo Boo. They saying Boo Boo ducked you. Blah, 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 blah. All this shit. Bottom line, if you want to fight, you're going to fight. Jamal, you fighting who you want to. And you're trying to use this pro-black shit, fighting on Juneteenth, as a means to yourself look bigger than what you really are. And the fuck nigga, you're not. Real rap. I am not impressed, bro. I'm not impressed. You need to fight at least Triple G, Boo Boo, Jaime, somebody. And I think Jaime is a hype job, but hell, you can fight Jaime just to get the hype train off that nigga. Like, y'all don't want to fight nobody. You a fucking bully, Jamal. Don't make it about money. Because it ain't about money. You got money, nigga. The bottom line is, Jamal, you scared. You scared. You scared to really test yourself. You scared to really have to know that this person really got the chance to beat me. You scared. You scared, bro. That's really what it is. And not just you, Jamal. A lot of you fighters, a lot of you promoters, y'all scared. Y'all scared to fuck up your brand. You're scared. You're scared to lose. None of y'all know how to lose. What happened was y'all saw what Floyd did and was like, oh, well, Floyd did, that's the new thing. What's up with Shammy Boy? Jay Cooley, though, what did it do with the folk? Alex Gonzalez, what did it do with the folk? Crazy Queen, what did it do with the folk? So, since y'all are afraid of losing, y'all putting these fighters that y'all consider to be elite. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now. I'm going to tell you right here, right now. 1, 2. Yep. Based on what I'm looking at, it's only 2 elite fighters in boxing. No, 3. 3. I stand corrected. It's only 3 elite fighters in boxing. In my personal humble opinion. I would say 4, but that's going to take me off somewhere. But I really believe, honestly, it is 4, but I'm going to just stick to the 3. 3 real elite fighters in the game. We quick to call dudes elite fighters because they win a belt. And then we say, well, he defended his belt, but he defended it against who? Against who? Who did he defend his belt against? Nobody that we really know. No household names. Nothing real. Anthony Joshua, Manny Pacquiao, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Only 3. When Anthony Joshua is fighting, who's selling the fight just off of their name? Anthony Joshua. When Manny Pacquiao fight, no matter who he fights, who is selling the fight just off their name? Manny Pacquiao. Saul Canelo Cinnamon Alvarez. When he has a fight, is he selling the fight just off his name? How many fighters? Really? I mean, really? Maybe Loma, because how they hyped him. But from what I've seen in the sport of boxing over the last, maybe 5 to 10 years, the elite fighters are the ones where when they have a fight, they shut down everything. Everybody tunes in because they want to see them. That's usually the elite of the elite. And they fought the top opposition of the top opposition. They fought the creme de la creme. They are the cream of the crop. You ain't beat nobody till you actually either fought them or beat them. That's usually what I would consider elite. I can't say Teofimo is an elite fighter just because he beat Vasily Lomachenko. And then a nigga come back out and say, I still got to do more in the sport of boxing. So how are you elite? How? Like, hold up. The ESPN pound for pound rankings is hot garbage. How in 7 hells you got Josh Taylor, number 9? How? How? Where is that? Hold on, I'm going to find this. We're going to cook on Claressa Shields, too. We're going to cook on Claressa Shields in a minute. Just want to get these pound for pound rankings right. Because they popped up last night, but they ain't got them up here today. Yeah, Google don't got them. Sons of bitches. But what I did see is that they had Josh Taylor number 9. And I'm like, how do you have Josh Taylor number 9 out of the top 10 pound for pound fighters? How is Josh Taylor not ahead of Teofimo Lopez? Josh Taylor is the actual undisputed champion at 140 pounds. Top rank on 140. Yeah. Taylor's number 9 on top rank, ESPN top rank pound for pound list. He's number 9. Teofimo is number 3 or 4, which is garbage. I'm with you, Josh. I'm with you. Garbage. They doing my man Josh Taylor dirty. He should be number 3. I ain't even gonna lie. He should be 3 or 4. Josh Taylor should not be number 9. Who else is an undisputed champion? Nobody. He shouldn't be below Jermell Charlo. None of that. He shouldn't be below them. Out of everything that he's done in the sport, for him to be number 9, come on, man. I'm with you, Josh. You should be number 3. At number 3 or at the lowest, number 4. At the lowest, number 4, not number 9. They doing Josh Taylor dirty. Dirty. Who was 3rd? Oh, Teofimo Lopez was 3rd. It was Canelo, Crawford. What I remember was it was Canelo, Crawford, Teofimo, Monster Inoue, and I think Jermell Charlo, and a couple of other. I can't remember everybody else. What's up with Chain with the ice though? I mean, he cleaned out the whole division. Still ain't get it. Second champion at 140 since Terrence Crawford. Him and Terrence Crawford are the only undisputed champions in the 4-belt era at 140 pounds. Only ones to ever do it. Yet and still, this dude is number 9 on ESPN top ranked pound for pound list. Number 9. Insult. A fucking insult. Real rap. It's fucking insult. Straight up. Can't believe that shit. Can't believe it. I'm a little taken back by Auntie Ford for actually bringing that damn fucking plaque in there saying that how Tank Davis is actually on par with Floyd Mayweather. I just can't get over that shit. Tank, you haven't fought everybody. You haven't fought everybody at 130, bruh. You got a world title at 131. WBA. That's it. Cool. Great. Congratulations. But you ain't did shit at 130. You only fought once at 135. Like they manipulating the game. And Floyd, it's like you know what you doing, but then when people call you out for doing that shit, you be trying to deflect and shit. Or try to dummy down them like they don't know what the fuck they talking about. And Floyd, you basically cherry picking with Tank Davis's career. And he is not a better career than you because he's not you. He's about the money. And these dudes don't give a fuck about the sport. And I'm here to tell y'all, these dudes don't give a fuck about you. They don't. These fighters don't give a fuck about the fans. You know who they give a fuck about? The motherfuckers that's blindly following them. The motherfuckers that's making excuses for them, justifying their bullshit. Them the motherfuckers they care about. But the people that's going to call it straight down the middle, they don't give a fuck about them. But then they want to say they real in the same breath. How you real, but when somebody say some actually real shit when it come to you, oh, we hating. How the fuck we hating when we tell you the motherfucking truth? How? You making hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars to fight nobodies. To fight motherfuckers that don't nobody care about. And your excuses for not fighting the people that we actually care about is you ain't gonna make enough money. Don't nobody know them. Don't nobody know who Hugo Centeno is. Don't nobody know who Juan Montiel is. So you niggas can't use them excuses no more that don't nobody know who Boo Boo is. Who the fuck is Juan Montiel, Jamal? Ain't that what you said about Boo Boo Andrade when they keep asking you to fight Boo Boo Andrade? No, nobody know who Boo Boo Andrade is. Who is Boo Boo Andrade? Who is that? Who is that? You know who that is? Who is that? Who the fuck is Juan Montiel, Jamal? Who is that? Who is he? What has he done? Who has he beat? How many world titles has he had? How many divisions has he fought in? Who is he? Who is Juan Montiel? Who is he to you? You are the champ. That's another thing you niggas fail to realize. Y'all niggas is champs. Y'all pick y'all opponents. Y'all pick them. Y'all have the choice to select who you want to fight and who you don't. Challengers have to build themselves up to be in position to where they can actually possibly get a chance to fight you. But once you hold that strap, you hold all the cards. So, being world champion, y'all choosing to fight the Juan Montiels of the world. The Mario Barrios of the world. Let me tell you something. I know Mario Barrios ain't gonna do shit because Mario Barrios is training with Virgil Hunter, and I don't see Andre Ward nowhere in the vicinity helping him prepare for this fight. I feel like that shit cap, Andre. Virgil Hunter is your guy. See, Virgil Hunter is training with somebody. Why the fuck you not helping him? You be helping Shakur Stevenson. You be helping Terrence Crawford and shit. I'm seeing you, but you don't be helping when Virgil Hunter be getting little fighters and shit. That you know they getting put in a position to basically be a stepping stone for certain fighters. You do not come in and try to help them niggas win because you know what's up. You know what's up. And all Virgil doing is just building his profile up saying this fighter, this fighter, this fighter. Let me tell you something. Virgil Hunter of this era, he's the new Buddy McGirt. Virgil's the new Buddy McGirt. He's the new Buddy McGirt. He's going to be the guy that lower opposition go to train with, that you gonna make you think that, oh, he was Virgil, he gonna be ready, he gonna do something, he gonna do this, he gonna do that, and ain't gonna do shit. Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. But to the untrained eye, he gonna do something. He got Virgil. He got Virgil. He ain't gonna do shit. Shit. Nothing. Tank gonna beat his ass. I ain't sleeping on him. I'll tell you right now. I ain't sleeping on him. I can tell you right now, I already know how Tank gonna get him. I already know how Tank gonna get him. Holla. Holla, holla, holla. Holla. Holla, holla, holla. What's up with LaRondo? What to do with the foe? Buddy Mills, Buddy Hills, what to do with the foe? Let me tell you something. Tank is going to literally, because he learned from that Leo Santa Cruz shit, he going to be a little more slick, and he going to be a lot more accurate and precise with his punches. The thing is and Mario Barrios do get hit. It's a setup fight, bro. It's a setup fight. Set up fight. He's going to slip on punches, and he's going to crack Mario with clean shit because Mario is defensively retarded. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's the era of excuses. Era of excuses, man. We got and got to send a special shout out to my man 3K the Boss Man, aka Mr. Two Hands Up. Shout out to the Reaper. I was watching his live stream, and his energy motivated me to do my own live stream. So we got to send a special shout out to my man 3K the Boss Man, aka Mr. Two Hands Up, because he's the inspiration behind this movement right here. But what we cooking on is, you got, if you saw All Access with Jermall Charlo and Juan Montiel, you see Jermall Charlo living in a fat house. Lovely, beautiful all white house. He got all these cars. He got Bentleys, all this fancy, lovely shit, right? My man Deuce is like, how the fuck, you know what I'm saying? These niggas sitting there talking about they ain't getting no money from these fights, and talking about big fights, though, because we got so-called marquee fighters saying that other marquee fighters aren't worth the fight because there's no money behind them. But meanwhile, these dudes living in big, extravagant, fat, lavish houses, driving lovely, lavish cars, fighting no-name guys that don't nobody know who they are. But if you making all this money to live in this lavish way, fighting these low-level guys, well, how much money you think you would get if you fought some of these high-level opposition guys? Think you would make a lot more money. But they not finna fight those dudes. If I give you an opportunity to fight low-level dudes that you could beat up easy, and you could be a multi-millionaire off of that, versus fighting this dude that actually may pose a threat and actually take you off of whatever stump that you own, nah, you're going to fight these low-level opposition dudes, fight them, and lead them high-level dudes out the motherfucking way. Depends on how I ran 7 miles in under an hour. I can run 7 miles in 45 minutes. So if you could run like 5 in like 30 to 40 minutes, that's pretty good. You got to get you run like 5 miles, see how you do, and then try to just beat that time. Don't get so focused on like, oh, I gotta run 5 miles. Start off running like 4 or 5 miles. Run that. See how I feel. After you run that first 4 or 5 miles, time yourself. Say, okay, now this is the time I gotta beat, and focus on that. That's how you do that. What's up, 1-2 kid though? Shout out to the UGC. But my take on that, I just don't. I feel like a lot of this shit we hearing from fighters is bogus. That Spence other side of the street shit, like all the shit we've been hearing from these fighters pertaining to why they are not fighting certain fighters is bogus. Bogus. They lying. They lying. Period. Point blank. They lying. It's not real. It's bogus. Now, without further ado, there is somebody that I really want to roast really bad. I mean, really, really bad. Matter of fact, hey, 1-2, if you got a moment, if you have a moment, let me put this in the chat real quick for 1-2. Because I want to go in real quick. I want to cook real quick on this. Because I'm not liking it. If you got some time, 1-2, feel free, man. Hit the link. Oh, wow. Looks like Ugas is saying some shit, too. Fury, via Daily Mail, shout out to Daily Mail, says that the reason why we do not have undisputed, these are not my words. So all you Fury fuck boys that want to sit there and try to say I'm hating, oh, fuck you right now. That's what he said. Tyson Fury is quoted via Daily Mail saying that the reason why we do not have the undisputed fight is because of Eddie Hearn. I repeat, Tyson, the Gypsy Queen Fury, stated and quoted via Daily Mail that the reason why we do not have undisputed is because of Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. And they knew about the arbitration case and everything that was going on. So for them to be trying to constantly push the fight was wrong because they knew about the arbitration. Just let that sink in for a second. Let that sink in for a second. So the reason why we don't have Undisputed is because of Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua. I'm looking for the part right now. I'm on the where he's talking about Wilder and his mental health issues and all his kids and shit. And shout out to Lady Ken. Shout out to my girl LC for in her video. She spoke about this. That's the reason why I went to it in the first place, was because I saw it on her video. Shout out Lady Chen. This nigga Fury says, I'm not bothered about the belts. They're nice to dream about until you get them. But would me and Joshua still be the biggest fight, even if we were both beltless? It'll be a big fight, but it won't be bigger than what it wouldn't be bigger for all marbles. What makes the fight fucking big, Tyson, is that not only that y'all two big fighters on your own in your own respect, but the fight for Undisputed. So it's a lot of implication involved with that shit. What's up with my boy 1-2? What to do with the vote?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, Boom, man? Long time.
Man, chilling, man. Just cooking on Tyson Fury now. Tyson Fury blaming Eddie Hearn for why we don't have Undisputed, saying that it's Eddie Hearn's fault, that he knew what was going on and he knew about the whole situation and he was imposing that the fight happened and all that type of shit. So now he's blaming Eddie Hearn for why the fight is not happening. And I do not agree with that shit at all.
I think Tyson Fury knew goddamn well that fight wasn't gonna happen, and he just I think him and Bob used Eddie Hearn to promote their new fight the whole time.
Who knew?
And, yeah, I mean, and I think as long as that WBC title isn't a part of the puzzle to the Undisputed, they always have that. They always just gonna hold on to that part of the puzzle. They really. Coming from Wilder and Tyson Fury, I don't see either one of them guys wanting Undisputed now.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't understand the meat shields that step in front of these guys, because I'm gonna put it like this: if you're a Wilder fan or a Tyson Fury fan, why stop that fight from happening when you even Wilder, like Wilder had an opportunity, like to fight for an Undisputed championship, the winner. He would have had it lined up. And same with Tyson Fury. I don't know what this is all about. I mean, I'm not knocking Wilder for the rematch or the rubber match. If it was on contract, I get it. But I do feel like Bob and Tyson Fury knew damn well that the fight wasn't going to happen, because they were dealing with the arbitration. They knew their lawyers was talking to them about what was going on. They had to know. So they just made this man pay for all this shit and set up an Undisputed fight for the fans, and now they knocking him for trying to do big champ shit.
Everything is all Eddie fault. It's all Eddie fault. It's never Tyson fault. It's nobody's fault but Eddie fault. And I'm like, bruh. So it was Eddie. It was Eddie that came up on social media on his social media platform and said that he talked to the Saudi Arabian prince. That was Eddie. It was Eddie that said, "See you in Saudi." That was Eddie. Okay.
I'm going to tell you who was Eddie. Eddie was giving that man a 50-50. Even with Tyson Fury, not even just for the fans. Because that's the one thing I can say about Eddie. He's not only just a promoter, he's a fight fan. And he was going to put that show on for us and let the other side have half the money just to make it work.
Eddie know he going to get paid regardless.
That's right.
Like, Eddie ain't hurting for no dollars, man. Bob is $100 million. He's worth over $200 million, but only want to pay fighters that are worth something like $1 million here, $1 million there, and they only walking away with like 800,000 and shit.
Eddie ain't afraid to put them guys in there. He got faith in his fighters. Unlike some of these other promoters.
Man, Al just telling them to get to the check, man. Allen just want to get to the check. That's it. Low risk, high reward, bro.
Who?
I said Allen Heyman.
Oh, Al? Well,
yeah, Allen.
Well,
I call him
he
Allen.
also almost tried to make that happen too. He tried to make the Andre and Charlo fight, offered him $7 million for unification.
It's like how that fight didn't go through.
He turned that down. So big champ shit over there. That's what Eddie Hearn doing. He got love for the sport and he ain't afraid. And he got faith in his fighters to get in there and mix it up. Because he has fighters lose all the time. But at least they in there getting in there. You know what I mean? They get paid too.
Mm-hmm. And they still getting paid.
Yep, and they get paid.
So what I have another problem with is that app business. I hate when people say that. Fighting on the app. If you fighting on Top Rank, you fighting on the app too. Okay? If you on Top Rank ESPN, guess what? I'm watching your fight on the app, cuz. I'm not watching your fight on my TV. I'm watching your fight off my ESPN app. That's what I'm watching your shit on. So all that fighting on the app shit is bogus. Like, what the fuck? That's the new wave. Apps are the new wave. So it's like, if you get the part to put your fighters on the app, which is the new wave, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with fighting on the app?
Yeah, I'd rather pay, less than $1 a year to get good fights all year than pay for 2 fights back to back and pay $140 for it.
I'm just saying, bro. I could pay $10 a month and see pay-per-view fight after pay-per-view fight after pay-per-view fight, even on ESPN Plus. Pay-per-view fight after pay-per-view fight, all the shit. Versus paying $50 for Andy Ruiz, Chris Arreola, paying another $65 for Tank Davis and Mario Barrios. Not finna do that, cuz. I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying. Look, PBC, Floyd, Al, I'm not paying for that shit. I know I'm only one motherfucker, but I ain't paying for that shit. You kissing my ass.
I ain't gonna knock Eddie. That's the second time he tried to make an undisputed fight. I mean, a heavyweight champion undisputed fight. I ain't knocking him.
Yep.
That's what
Eddie
the fans
be trying,
want.
man. Eddie be trying, man. He be trying to give the fans what they want.
And he be trying to give the fighters on the other side what they want too. But I guess it ain't enough.
It's they don't want to lose. I
Don't
get it.
That.
Y'all don't want to lose.
Don't want to lose that belt or that
But the thing, and this is the contradiction. That's why I sit back and I watch you niggas. Cause last time I checked, not too long ago, belts didn't mean nothing. Now belts is everything. Now belts give you all the leverage and shit. But at first the belts didn't mean nothing. I remember that narrative for a minute. Belts don't mean nothing. What the belts mean? The belts don't mean nothing when Terrence Crawford get a belt. The belts don't mean nothing. Well, hell, even when Canelo get a belt, belts don't mean shit. Belts don't mean nothing when it's Anthony Joshua holding 4 belts to Deontay Wilder's 1 belt. Belts don't mean shit. But as soon as Deontay Wilder loses his belt, belts mean everything. Mean every fucking thing. Soon as Canelo Alvarez finna be undisputed at 168 pounds, belts mean everything now. Josh Taylor, undisputed 140, belts mean everything now. Teofimo, belts mean everything now. But last time I checked, belts didn't mean shit. Didn't mean nothing. Now they do.
If they don't unify, see, that's the thing. They know if they lose that belt, that they lose their chip at the bargaining table. They lose that they lose that chip at the bargaining table. They're not willing to bet on themselves.
But you know what's funny about that one too is it's different. You want to use the market based on the O. But what about what's going to happen when everybody got losses? Bargaining for the O.
Then
bargaining for that O. What'd you say?
Well, if everyone got losses, then you're gonna find out who the best fighter is.
Thank you. That's when you're gonna find out who the best really is. Not because they got fucking 100 million followers or subscribers. That don't mean they're the best fighter. Jamal, look, this is how I feel. This is actually how I really, really feel. The only person that is considered the best fighter in boxing right now is Josh Taylor. That's it. Nobody else. Everybody else, y'all just holding on to the little real estate y'all got. But as far as somebody really being like the best, really being the guy, it's Josh Taylor. He's the guy. He's the only fighter aside from Clarissa Shields. And the only reason why Clarissa Shields got it is because it's not a lot of females in MMA, and I'm going to touch on her in a second. But there's only two fights that are really considered to be undisputed in boxing. Clarissa Shields, Josh Taylor. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I give the flame to a lot of the fighters that don't try to unify or you know what I mean, go for undisputed. But you got two guys that are attempting that in Jermell and also Canelo's doing it right now. So I don't flame them as much. But when I don't flame guys that are trying to unify, belts. I don't flame Andre no matter how much criticism he gets. But when he trying to get in there with those guys and the offer is nice, then I'm like, hey man, if he's such an easy fighter, get him the fuck out of there and take his belt then. You know what I mean? Like I don't get all guys that are trying to make the best fights. Or if they racking up, it's really strap season. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her too, Timmy. Katie Taylor too. Katie Taylor got all the straps too.
Yep, and shout out to Josh Taylor.
Who else? Who's that other girl? Catskill got all the straps.
Yep.
But the female divisions aren't that deep with hitters, and I hate this. I don't mean to say that to shit on female boxing. I really don't want to shit on female boxing. I just feel like it's not enough hitters in female boxing. And looking at what Clarissa Shields did, I digress real quick. Looking at what Clarissa Shields did her first time in MMA, it was good to see that. I'm not gonna sit there and say like I was super, super impressed or anything like that. I'm not gonna say that. But what I will say is she did just what I thought she was gonna do. I kind of figured she was gonna have decent takedown defense. The girl that she looked like she was a little nervous to be in there with Clarissa Shields. Of course, I knew Clarissa Shields wasn't finna throw no kicks. She wasn't finna share kicks or shit. And I knew she was finna bank everything off of her punches. And I felt like, girl just didn't have it. And I feel like the fighter that would give Clarissa problems is a fighter that could scrap just like her, but also has very good ground game. Because the girl was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, but yet still she couldn't get her in no submissions. And I really feel like that was kind of bogus. Because if you're a brown belt in jiu-jitsu and you couldn't get a novice in any type of submissions or any type of situation that was uncomfortable, she was like, bogus to me. But for Clarissa Shields to do what she did against a fighter that was considered to be a veteran in MMA, I think she did good. She did a good job. Like I said, I'm not like super impressed because I still see the holes in her game, and I see where a fighter like Amanda Nunes would catch her. Not even necessarily Amanda Nunes. Hell, a Cat Figueroa would catch her. Some fighters like that would get her. But her physicality, I knew was going to be there. I knew her boxing prowess was going to be there, and I knew that the girl, whoever she fought, wasn't going to be able to stand with her. And all she needed was good takedown defense, which was what she showed. Congratulations to her. I still need to see her do a lot more MMA before I say I'm impressed.
But it's nice that what you did find out about Clarissa, she got a competitive spirit.
Yep.
In a sport that she's not accustomed to.
And she did what male fighters couldn't do. You know what I mean? But you know what? I say that because that's what the narrative was. And that's why I said I don't want to shit on it, but it's kind of hard not to.
But I mean, they're not accustomed to getting kicked in the leg. That'll fuck your game up.
True. But also, the girl that Clarissa Shields fought ain't like if she would have went there against Amanda Nunes would have beat her ass. Would have just beat the shit out of her. James Toney went in there with Randy Couture in his prime. it's not the same.
Didn't Who was it? Ray Mercer had a dub, didn't he? Didn't he sleep a couple people before he got beat? Got
I
kicked in
think
the
he
leg.
probably, I don't know for sure, he probably did. But I know when they talk about James Toney couldn't win, like, but James Toney fought Randy Couture in his prime. Like,
Yeah, but also James Toney was a butterball at that point in his career too, though.
yeah,
And once he got down, he was like a turtle on his back. You know what I'm saying? Like, how's he gonna get up, man?
yeah.
You
It's
know what
like,
I'm
what
saying?
was you expecting to happen? Like,
Yeah,
but I do give her credit though for going over there and winning. She is making herself more notable, more notoriety, giving herself more fame and all that. And I give her that. I give her props for that. But I just want to see her do something against. I need to see her. I want to see her fight Savannah fucking Marshall.
yeah. I want to see that fight too. I mean, like when it comes to the female boxing, I think it's picking up steam. It's a little slower than you know what I mean? As quick as male boxing, where you get that immediate gratification, but it's picking up steam, and I think they're doing good. I was a little against her going to the MMA, to be honest with you, because she was, you know, she had won so many belts and she was on top of her game. But I mean, if she wasn't getting the money, I guess, you know, you gotta still, you know, feed the family and do
I
what you
think it
gotta
was the
do.
money and also staying active.
I think she
Staying
wanted a little
active.
more
But then
recognition for what she was accomplishing.
yeah, because I'm telling you right now, that GWOAT shit, I'm like, you lightweight proving that now. But when it came to boxing, I'm like, I'm not finna give you the greatest woman athlete of all time. I'm not finna give you that shit. Like, you still got, I get it. That's your brand though. The GWOAT shit, that's your brand. That's your thing that's sticking to you. That's your story and all that. I get it. You can have that. You can have that all day long. But you ain't the GWOAT to me. You could be the GWOAT to yourself. You could be the GWOAT to your fan base and every fucking body else. But I don't think you're the greatest female fighter ever. Unless, this is why I say that. You watch One Championship? Have you ever seen it?
What?
One Championship. One FC. They got
I might
kickboxing.
have.
Yeah, they got kickboxing, Muay Thai, and MMA. So a woman in there that fights. Her name is Stamp Fairtex. Stamp Fairtex has won kickboxing world titles and held Muay Thai world titles at the same time, and now she's on the verge of possibly winning a MMA world title to be one of the first ones in one history to hold all three belts: kickboxing, Muay Thai, and MMA.
Damn, that's talent and discipline. Good for her. That's
So
crazy.
I compared her in that, and I'm like, right now she's not there because Stamp fighting top bitches in one. Like, she ain't fighting the low herself up. She fighting top bitches right now. So I would have to say, as far as female fight, I would go with Stamp Fairtex or Amanda Nunes. As far as its overall female fighter, just Stamp Fairtex and Amanda Nunes. That's what I.
Amanda, she got some good power and she's getting better.
She got that. I get it. She is a stud muffin, but she's still a mom to me, and I look at it as that's that mama strength.
Yeah.
That's
now
that
I think
mom.
that mama strength was Kat Zingano when she ate everything that Nunez had and then just gave it that gave it that mustard and was like, here you go.
That's that
gave her that home cooking ass whooping. I was like, wow, that's crazy, because that Nunez was knocking everybody out at that point, and she walked through the fire and then just gave her them elbows.
Kat wasn't no joke, bro. Kat Zingano was no joke. I was kind of mad at how she lost to Ronda Rousey when they was talking about that shit.
Yeah, me too. I was too. I was a little upset about that because it was just quick and it just happened so quick. And I was like, and you could tell she still wanted to fight. And she was like, oh, but the shit happens, man. That shit happens.
And she even said she could have beat Ronda. She could have beat Ronda. She could have. But she didn't. It is what it is. I still think Ronda can, though. Yeah. I still think that bitch can.
Yo, she retired from like brain damage, right? Don't she have neurological damage?
Who, Ronda?
No, Kat.
Kat, yeah. Yeah, Kat had took too much abuse in her time.
Yeah.
She fought fighting top dude, top girl after top girl after top girl. Once your body say, okay, I've had enough, you retire. That's her business, people. That's the hurt business. You fight until your body say, "Look, man, it's time to hang it up."
That's one guy that I'm worried about in boxing, man, is that Hurd, man. He gets hit too much, way too much, man. Clean shots, man. And I'm hoping that, you know, he's safe in his travels. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to knock any man's hustle, but man, move your head just a little bit, would you?
Yeah, just a little bit, Jared. Just a little. Who you got, Manny or Earl? Who you going with?
I don't know. You know, if there's no VADA testing, man, it's who got the best milkshake. You know what I'm saying? So
if it's no VADA, I'm going with Manny.
Yeah, I mean, I think they both really decent fighters. If you sleep on Manny, he will sleep you. You will find yourself on your ass. So if he says if Earl says something like Thurman did, like he got T-Rex arms, then I'm definitely rolling with Manny. Because if you think that man got short arms and you think your reach advantage, you know, benefits you against Manny, you got another thing coming, man. He got that shock and awe, man. He closed the distance quicker with his feet. Don't matter how fucking short his hands are. He gonna close that distance. He gonna work them angles. He gonna get off. So I do feel like they both gonna have moments in that fight, and I'm just happy the fight's being made, that we get to see one of the young guys. I thought it was gonna be Bud at first, but to get in there with Manny again, I think that's great. I think it's a good fight. I'd much rather see Bud in there with one of them, but I ain't mad at it. You know what I mean?
I'm over it. Bud ain't getting in there. He might get. I don't think he getting Manny now because Earl got him, but I think Earl probably gonna. I mean, Manny might retire after this fight, regardless. I think win, lose, or draw. I think Manny still will retire. I'm going with Manny. I'm just going with Manny because I think people underestimate Manny. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if Manny lose. What I would be surprised if Manny gets stopped. That's what would surprise me if he got stopped. But him losing wouldn't surprise me. But I'm still gonna go with Manny Pacquiao. I think people underestimate him, underestimating the fact that how he can still close the distance. Man, still sharp. He's still in good shape. Super experienced. I don't see Errol Spence bringing anything to the table that Manny hasn't dealt with or seen before. I mean, when you look at a fighter of Antonio Margarito, I mean, you're wrong. Errol Spence is no Antonio Margarito. Margarito is, Errol Spence. Margarito is no Errol Spence, but Errol Spence isn't Antonio Margarito. So, at the end of the day, I still think that it's going to be Manny Pacquiao. He know how to deal with people that are bigger than him. He know how to manage that size. And I don't see Earl doing anything special to keep Manny off of him. I don't see it.
I'm not going to give anybody an edge till it gets a little closer to the fight. Then I could analyze it a little more.
Because, you need to see that press conference.
They both, oh, yeah. Well, you know, I know Manny's confident, and I'm pretty sure Earl is too. You got age and youth on his side, but you know, Manny's still Manny, man. If he didn't age overnight, man, he better pack a lunch. It's gonna be a long one.
So they took Uga's belt.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, man, I think that's kind of horseshit. They realized they made a mistake. They sent a cat burglar in there to steal the WBA and left a big pile of money for him. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing anyway.
That's why Ugas said he ain't tripping, and I was wondering why he was. It was an article from Hold up. I just saw that shit. I just saw it. That's nuts, bruh.
I guess from what rumors
he says the WBA do what they want. Wow, and the source is a Boxing Insider. Says the WBA do what they want to do. I'm not frustrated. I'm going to be the co-main event on that show on August 21st. Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know,
so
there
the
is a good
WBA
fight
do what
going,
they
though.
want. What'd you say?
There is going to be a good fight going down. From it was rumored. I heard it. I was just on Black's channel a little while ago, and they were saying that Mean Machine and Virgil Ortiz might be fighting. I said that's a good fight. I'm looking forward to that.
Victor and Virgil?
Oh no. Virgil and Mean Machine.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a scrap.
I was like, I'm looking forward to that fight.
Me too. Looking forward to that fight. looking forward to that. That's really going to be a gauge fight because if Virgil gets the machine out of there in a quicker fashion or in a better fashion, I would say he's ready for a Crawford fight, depending on how he gets rid of Mean Machine. And depending on how that look, I would say he's ready for a Crawford fight. And I don't want nobody to keep telling me that he ain't ready for a Crawford fight now. But it's funny how when I first said that Virgil was a good opponent for Crawford, everybody was like, he's not ready for Crawford. He's not ready for Crawford. And then all of a sudden, I think, who did he fight? It was Hooker. He fights Hooker, and now he's ready for Crawford.
Yeah.
And nothing is really different in the way he fights from the fight before that until the Hooker fight, which is when the fight before the Hooker fight was when I said, he'd be a good opponent, possible opponent for Crawford moving forward. And now all of a sudden, Virgil ready for Crawford. And because Virgil said Crawford's name, now Crawford does. I didn't know. I didn't know that if he calls out Crawford for a fight and Crawford is like, I'm trying to fight Earl, Crawford ducking. Where is all this duck business coming from with Crawford? Every time somebody say Terrence Crawford name and Crawford don't respond the way they feel he should respond, Crawford ducking. But fighters get called out all the time and really don't even acknowledge certain fighters, and they don't get called a duck.
Well, I think Crawford, he can't win. Because if he's trying to set up a fight with a big name fighter and then they pull out of the fight and someone was calling him out while he was doing that, they call him a duck. So I don't know who he's going to fight. I hope he does get a big name fight soon, though, at welterweight. I would really look forward to that. But I'm just curious to the fact that Keith Thurman and I think Sean Porter having a rematch.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if Keith Thurman gonna want $10 million, or does he think Crawford's better than Sean Porter? I'm just curious if Sean Porter gonna make the amount of money that he wanted from Crawford, or does he think that Crawford's better than Keith Thurman? That's what I'm saying. I think Manny Pacquiao wanted $40 million to fight Crawford, but only wanted $20 million to fight Thurman. I think it's just telling the tale that this guy is a problem, and the money they asking for is proving it. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, when Earl said 80-20, I was like, that fight ain't gonna happen.
If he pulls off this dub, what you gonna think it's gonna be? 95-5?
It's gonna be 90-10. Watch, or 95-5.
But you know what though? If Earl loses, though, I wonder if it's really going to be strap season then.
Oh, no. He lose, he going to 54. I promise you.
Really? Damn.
I promise you. If he lose, what he going to do? His whole stock is being unified champion, holding up the division, the same shit Wilder did, holding up the division. So make himself look like he this ultimate guy. Can't nobody touch him. Make Crawford look like he's the lowest, all the shit, and then if he lose, where he go?
I'm just saying, Earl didn't have a problem with the WBO when Horn had it. He was talking about fighting Horn, but then all of a sudden the WBO ain't really nothing. Now he's gonna clean up his side of the street. I'm just not. I wasn't feeling that energy from Earl that he wanted to fight.
You can't be disputed without WBO, man. You see it, man. You can't be undisputed unless you got all the straps, man. If you ain't out here like this, if you don't got that 1, 2, 3, man, nothing 5 straps. If you ain't got them,
they ain't got a problem with the WBO. All these fighters, they got a problem with who is wrapped around.
Yep, exactly what it is. Because you can't be undisputed without the WBO, Earl. That's just what it is. That's facts. You can sit there and say Earl gonna be undisputed. Well, if he gonna be undisputed, he gotta fight that. He gotta go hit that bud. And until he do that, he don't do it. And like I said, there's only 3 undisputed, bro. 1, 2 in all of boxing, bro. There are only, from my knowledge, 3 undisputed undisputed fighters, 2 are women. No, 4. 3 are women.
Yeah, but shout out to the guys that are trying to get undisputed. AJ, Charlo, Jermel.
Yeah, Jermel, I think he gonna get with
Jermel.
the Castano
And
fight.
I think also you got
Nue.
Nue, and you got Canelo's trying to do it at 168. And then you got all the guys out there really where it's really strap season.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
they're not stealing
sad, bro.
straps from nobody to make fights. Yeah, how you give
That's-
somebody a strap and then take it away from them, and then I don't know how that works, man. I don't know how that
sad,
works.
bro. That's hella sad. So you mean to tell me Josh Taylor, Clarissa Shields, Jessica McCatskill, and Katie Taylor are the only undisputed champions in boxing, and out of them 4 undisputed, 3 are women. 3 are women, and out of the 4, 2 are American.
Yeah. And you
What
without
in the
undisputed,
hell?
man, you don't know who the best is. So
You don't. Like, who's
Right.
the best? Jamal Charlo, the best at 60. Jamal Charlo, Boo Boo Andrade, the Triple G. So nobody really is the best at 160. Okay.
well, that's why when I say like big ups to the guys trying to make it, it's because basically if a guy ain't trying to unify his title and he just holding on to the title, I'm gonna give the best fighter to the guy who's trying to make the fight.
Mhm.
Because it's obvious the only reason it's being held up is because of you. So
Pretty much. It's no money in it like that, bro. Holla. That's why. It's not the fact that the females are only just willing to fight. It's not that many of them. And number 2, it's not an abundance of money. There's nobody that's finna become a multi-millionaire off of women's boxing. Wait till it's the same amount of money in women's boxing, if not more money in women's boxing as it is in men's. And watch the females start talking that same shit. They're gonna start talking that shit. Cause Clarissa Shields tried that shit at first. She was trying that shit, wasn't working. It's women's boxing.
To be honest with you though, there probably could be. But it's not even about, which I can't stand. It's not about the boxer skill. It's not about what they're doing. It's about the image. You know what I mean? If somebody was a little prettier, if someone maybe had to go like because Clarissa got the medal too. So I mean, I don't really get it. You know what I mean? Like I don't get it. You know, so that's just not cool, man. But that's what it is. You'll see certain people just get that. You know. That shine. I never seen anybody. I just, you look at Ryan Garcia. He had a decent win in his last win, good gauging win. He showed he could get up. But the fact of the matter is, I ain't never seen anyone duck 5 people at once before, and that's what Ryan did.
Sad.
Yo, he called out Tank, called out Manny, which you knew was cap, right? then Fortuna. Am I missing anybody? Oh, wait a minute. Linares.
And Linares would have cooked him.
Oh, and Haney. Didn't even mention Haney.
Oh, he mentioned Haney.
Being the fact that he was ranked so high that he was willing to let somebody cut him in line or fight somebody in the back of the line rather than going. Then the titles didn't matter no more. I'm like, wow. Like that whole energy, man. And then he had a mental issue when he was gonna fight Fortuna, and now he's cured and he's gonna fight what's his name? That nobody cares about. I'm trying to think of his name. Oh man, who was the dude that was capping who got beat up in their last fight and said that he won? I'm trying to think of his name. Rolly. He's gonna fight Rolly.
Oh, Rolly? Romero?
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie, I want to see that shit. I want to see Rolly and Ryan fight. I want to see that shit. I ain't gonna lie. That'd be something I actually want to see. I wouldn't pay for it.
I'm not really hyped about that fight. I mean, maybe if people, want to see it for whatever reasons they want to see it, but I think that's just more of a it doesn't have any substance. It's not moving anybody. If anyone pulls off a dub in that fight, they don't gain or lose anything. So I mean, to me, it's just a payday. for both fighters, which I'm not against. I mean, but it's a meaningless fight to me. You know what I mean? To me, it's meaningless. I'm like, you just called out 5 guys, man. You just capped Tank. Let's do this. I'm like, what?
And this is after the WBC mandates or orders you to fight Devin Haney.
That Manny shit was the worst because I knew.
I knew that was bogus.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, if the only thing you got going is your image and your face, Manny will dismantle that shit and you won't have shit. He will break your orbital bones, man. Like you too straight up for that, man.
Bro, he don't got no defense. That's why I said like somebody like Jorge Linares would have slept him. Devin Haney would have outworked him. He wouldn't have had nothing for Devin. That's why when you say I'll sleep you, Devin, it's like no, you wouldn't. You too flat-footed. You too predictable. I already know you finna. He already know you coming with that foot first. You don't got no jab. Everything you throw with reckless abandon. So
another guy I never heard him mention was Teofimo. And so I mean, like, yeah, I think he's a talented kid. I think he could work on some stuff. I think he's a good fighter. But I mean, if you ain't showing that same motivation, you know what I mean, like outside of the ring to really make these fights happen, and you just keeping people's name in your mouth just for clout. I'm like, then that's not the energy. That's not championship energy, man.
I think when Ryan lose, it's going to be like how Wilder lost to Fury the second time, just not as like embarrassing, but it's going to be a fight where we thinking he gonna win, and he just going to get dominated, and it's just going to be a wake up call that he's really not that good as he think he is, or that he's been portrayed to be. I think that's what's going to be for a lot of fighters. And I'm going to end the stream with this one saying that what's going to happen is going to be an era of upsets. You know how they doing this cherry pick shit? It's going to be a lot of cherry picks going wrong. And I think that's when we're going to start seeing a lot of fighters lose, and we're going to start seeing who's really the best. Because they're going, like, hypothetical. It's not going to happen, but hypothetical. If Juan Montiel beat Jamal, if Mario Barrios beats Tank Davis, that's going to change the dynamic of the sport so much. When fighters start losing, because what y'all are trying to implicate is Floyd Mayweather's blueprint, but the fighters aren't Floyd Mayweather. They don't have his work ethic. They may have his drive to make money. They don't got that man work ethic in the sport or his dedication to the sport.
Right. I think some of these guys' legacy is actually manufactured. I think it's manufactured. And that's exactly what I don't like about Ryan is the fact that we seen in the ring he can scrap. He took one on the chin, he got up, whatever, but he didn't have that same energy when he got out the ring for his legacy. I don't think his heart's in it the way that I think he should just go ahead and be a movie star, man, and maybe get out the game if his heart ain't in it. Because when I see this guy, you know what I see? Victor Ortiz 2.0. You know what I mean? Like I see this guy. Like I think he's talented. I think he's got the goods, but I don't think he wants it. You know what I mean? I think he talks a good one, but I don't think he really wants it. If he's in the ring, he'll probably. I'm not saying that he would quit because I haven't seen him do that. But I'm just saying he just ain't sharing that energy outside of the ring, that big champ energy. So I'm not buying. You know what I mean? Till he show me something.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not buying it either. I really don't think he's not special. I already said I've even went worse. I said he's the Mexican American. I feel like he's the fighter that's fast. He got deep strength. I think he's a little stronger than American, personally. But I think he's the fighter. Once he gets touched on that chin, he gonna get sat down every time. Every time somebody touches him, because Luke Campbell ain't a puncher. He's not a puncher, and I feel like the punch that he got caught with was like a flash knockdown. It's just going in too hard, and he catch you coming in. Oh shit, motherfucker caught me, and he sits you down. But what is gonna happen when he fights a real puncher? That isn't this another thing to fight a dude that can punch, but it's another thing to fight somebody that can punch and know how to punch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a dude that's fast. Okay, it's one thing to be fast, but do you know how to use your speed? It's one thing to be strong, but you know how to use your strength to your advantage. So
Right,
I
but
think when you fight somebody like that, that's what's gonna give him a problem.
that's my problem with him is I don't think we're gonna see him do that. You see what I
Gotcha.
mean? So I mean, until I see it, I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. It's like, let me see it. I think he's talented. I think he got the goods. I think he could work on some things, but I gotta see that energy. I gotta see that, yeah, bring him on. I'm gonna take him out. You know what I mean? Mentality. You know what I mean? That confidence in that. I mean, it just seems more manufactured than like a show to me.
Yeah, a lot of these dudes' careers are manufactured. Jamal Charlos, Tank Davis, Errol Spence, Deontay Wilder, and at this particular point in time, Tyson Fury too.
Yeah, I got one coming out too, and I'm gonna probably lose like 100 subscribers when I drop it.
Why? Who you finna buzz out? Who you buzzing out?
Oh, I'm lining them up and putting them down, man. so there's gonna be a few, and it's gonna be on all sides. So I'm like, hey, man.
Gotcha.
So, I mean,
and you know what? That's bogus, man. You subscribers, y'all be hella whack with that shit, man. We on here speaking our honest, objective opinion, and most of it, as much as we can, to be factual as possible. And it's not our fault if we're calling out people for what they do wrong. We're not finna sit up here and just make excuses to justify every little thing fighters do. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you do something right, you do something right. Right. If I to do something right, I give him props for it. But most of that nigga career is fucking wrong. So I'm on the nigga neck. Ryan Garcia. How the hell you get mental health issues all of a sudden? Off the height of the height. I say it all the time. 1-2 kid, he know he come from the Latin community. And when you live in the slums, you can't afford mental health issues. I go to my job and say I can't come to work for about a month, man. I got mental health issues. I'm fired. Bills ain't getting paid. My lights is getting cut off. My infant had no food on my table. I can't afford mental health issues. That's a rich nigga problem. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't worry, I'll wait. Because I haven't met one person, one blue-collar person that could quit his job and still maintain his lifestyle with mental health issues. The only people that can say I got mental health issues and not go to work are rich motherfuckers. Mental health don't exist in the hood, bro. It don't. You can deal with people get stabbed, killed, your cousin just got killed, your mom on drugs, daddy on drugs, all that shit. You can't afford mental health issues. You can't. You got to push through that shit. So now these motherfuckers get money and get soft.
I hate to say
get
it,
up
but
when you're sleeping on satin sheets. What you say, 1-2?
I hate to say it, but OCD was cured back in the days with ass whoopings. That shit was yeah, man. You couldn't just walk around like, yeah, you know, I got mental issues. It's like,
it's like what?
Fuck. Well, he talked back to me because he got mental issues. Nah, man, there was repercussions for that shit.
yeah, you learn real quick. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Yeah, I mean, so I'm like, man, look, dig this. I feel like it's just a bunch of excuses in this generation and in this era. We live in a feminine era. No disrespect to the ladies, no disrespect to feminism, but we live in an era where men are not men. Men rather find the easiest way to bitch up and not do something. Nobody's really testing themselves. We talking about a sport where you test yourself. The way we know what you really are made of is you test yourself. These fighters are not testing themselves, and then the way that they using the means to say they're testing them, moving up one weight division, but fighting the lowest opposition at that weight class.
Yeah, manufactured right. Legacy.
Right.
And the Twitter followers got you getting that pay. And I think that when we constantly talk about the politics of boxing, and well, it's a business. Well, It's an entertainment. It's entertainment. It's like but you can't break down a fight. Well,
Right.
how would the fight go down between these two? What would happen? You know what I mean? Like, I would like to see this style matchup. That's what I'm more interested in. You know, that's what I like to see. But I don't see that a lot on YouTube channels anymore. People breaking down the fights. They more, we find ourselves caught up in the schematics of what the fuck is going on outside of the ring. So we're not getting the big fights, and we don't know who the best is, and people is riding on that, and it's just like a new age of divaism. You know what I mean? What am I gonna get? What am I gonna get? Now I'm not knocking what these fighters get, but you are a fighter first, right? You should fight. Like, you know what I mean? When guys is telling people that they don't have an opportunity to fight them ever, or I'm not gonna fight that dude. I mean, even if that dude shows you that same energy, like with Earl and Thurman, and he's like, man, I ain't gonna fight Thurman. And he was like, yeah, Thurman was, he kind of shied away from that fight. So yeah, I'll give him. I was with Spence all that time. Like, yeah, man, he should fight Spence. But then when Spence said, I'm not gonna fight him because he did that to me, I was like, nah, you can't carry that same energy just because he did it. Because if it's like that, then the boxing gonna suck. Because ain't nobody fighting each other. You know what I mean?
Got you. Yeah, and I just feel like a lot of these dudes are soft. But we got a little guest in the building, Paul Gamma. What to do with the folk? Welcome to the show. Never seen you before, so what to do with the folk? Welcome.
Hey, yo, what up? Can you hear what it do?
Yeah, I hear you. What's going on? What's your take on this new era and fighters not fighting and making all these BS reasons why they not fight? Oh, where you go? There you go. My bad. There you go.
Yeah. So I seen you live, subscribed to you not too long ago, and I seen y'all chopping it up about this era and manufactured fighters. So I just wanted to tap in real quick. Hold on. But yeah, man, I think it's the Mayweather effect, man. People wanting to protect their not really testing themselves. If Ryan really wanted it, he would have been chasing Tio for all them belts. And a lot of these PBC fighters, man, it's Al doing his business motto, cherry picking, trying to stall fights out, trying to milk it. So a lot of these PBC fighters, man, they their careers are manufactured, man. It's sad to say because like Tank could be greater. There's a lot of good fights for him at 130, 135, and he's fighting Barrios. And the only reason why he's fighting Barrios is because if Josh Taylor moves up and relinquishes his belts, Tank automatically gets elevated to the regular champ. So that's Floyd right there, working smart, not hard,
Yeah, pretty much. That's what Floyd do. Because Josh Taylor got all the belts, and the king of regular champs. He's the 4-division regular champ, Hall of Famer right now. They finna regular champ him to the Hall of Fame.
That's simple shit.
Yeah, I think Barrios is way too slow for Tank. I think Tank's gonna snatch his body, possibly stop him in the later rounds. I just think Barrios too small. And Barrios is just a blown up. I think he started at 130, 126.
122.
Yeah,
he started at 122.
He's just a blown up 140 pounder. This ain't no real 140 pounder. Fight Regis, fight Taylor, at least Jose Ramirez. You know what I mean? No, I ain't taking nothing from Barrios. I just think he's too small, man. And the matchmakers, they're doing it right because they see the Tank could beat this guy. He's way too slow, man, and he's just gonna snatch his body.
Yep, that's what I said.
With all that smoke at 135, and then you jump into 140. But this is the fight that we all wanted, right? Barrios and Tank, right? This is what everybody wants, right? This is what they talk about. Oh, he's moving up. This is great. He's challenging himself. It's like, no, this motherfucker can't make weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
cut the shit. Cut the shit.
Wait a minute. I have to do it because it just hit me. Where did Taylor start his career at 130, right? 126 is 130.
I think probably 130. I think 120. It might be 126. But Tank Loma was a good fight. Tank Tio was a good. There's too many good fights, man. Tables unturned at 130, 135, man. It's just And then Tank loses his belt on the scale, right? And then he gets it back fighting a bum, and then they call him a 2-time fucking world champion. Like, nah, bro, you lost that shit on the scale.
No, but what I'm saying is we give, well, not we like us, but you got people that give Tank Davis props, praise, right? For going up 2 weight divisions and fighting, right? And he's getting praise for it. But there's a particular Mexican fighter not too long ago who went up 2 weight classes to fight the unified welterweight champion, and he was told how he was stupid and he ain't gonna be able to do this, he ain't gonna be able to do that, blah 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 blah. And I said this then: if it's Tank Davis, if it's Jamal Charlo, and they moving up 2 weight classes, y'all not giving them that smoke. And at least
Mikey went up
from Mikey dared to be great though. Mikey actually went for a world title. And he went after quote unquote one of the best guys in the division.
Exactly.
So
I just don't see why you would jump 135 with all that smoke and all that money and all those names. Let's just jump to 140.
Bro, he gonna go right back to 30. Watch, he gonna fight this fight at 140, and he gonna go right. His next fight gonna be at 35 or 130. Watch.
It's gonna be at 135 against a 126 pounder.
Yep, that's exactly what's going, bro. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's
and it's all manufactured. We're in the era of matchmaking. These fighters got matchmakers.
Yep.
Period.
They promoting it like it's the biggest thing.
Yeah, what was you gonna say, Paul?
Yeah, and Tank's 27. 3 more years, he's gonna be 30. So man, we need some legacy fights, man, that hold weight. We need some 50-50 fights that he can actually lose. I think Tank dug Loma. I think it was Floyd and Al. I think Mikey.
No, that was Floyd and Al. Yeah, because for real, not to cut you off, for real, Tank did want to fight Loma. He did. Like, because Tank, Loma said something about Tank. And Tank went back to Baltimore on his dog ass and was like, Floyd, make the fight. I want Loma. I'm like, I remember that interview where he got at Floyd and was like, make the fight happen. I want to fight Loma. And Tank and Floyd was like, it's not time yet, blah, 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 some bullshit. But Tank did want to fight Loma early in his career. Like, right, I think shortly after the Pedraza fight, he wanted to fight Loma. Floyd and Leonard Ellaby wasn't finna put him in there with Loma. That was Floyd and Leonard Ellaby.
Which was a great win. The Pedraza win was a great win. But that's it, though. But that
was his best win. Yeah.
And you know what? And I think he got the talent to where he could get in there and he can prove that he is a great fighter. But unfortunately, with this matchmaking, he ain't getting the opportunity to do it. But you can't really give him props because he's not even like they're not making attempts to make the big fights.
Yeah, I hope he fights Loma before Loma gets too old, man. Before he gets 35.
Man, Loma gonna fight Nagatani. He might fight some other or a Comey or something like that.
And
he might fight Devin. But I think it's a wrap for Loma unless Loma beat like Devin or he fight Teofimo or some shit like that. Because nowadays
make a comeback.
Yeah, it's hard to get back into them big fights now. It's always been hard, but now with the politics, keep saying it's always been politics in boxing, but now politics really run boxing. Like nowadays, they talk their way out of fights.
Man, I wish Bob would push Bud the way he was pushing Loma.
I wish Bob pushed Bud the way he pushed Manny.
It's just, but you know, the MBF, they got the MBF rule. I know y'all know about that. It's just his strategy and his marketing, man. It's just Bud can't really sell out arenas, man. Sad to say, but he got the skills.
But the thing is, this is what I don't like, and I'm gonna say this. Loma don't talk much. He sell. Earl don't talk much. He sell. Canelo Alvarez don't talk much. He sell. 3 different fighters, 3 different promotions. I just gave you a top-ranked fighter, correct? I gave you a PBC fighter, and I gave you a fighter off of the zone. 3 fighters that have big names. They are not big talkers at all.
Right.
But what promoted them is that promotional company was pushing them, all that energy promoting them. So if these promoters want their fighters to be known, they will back them. The problem is, I think with Bob, he had Loma, he had Manny, he was getting that Manny money, he was getting that Loma money. Fuck you, Crawford.
Nah, I think it's kind of set in stone that he wasn't really like his biggest names that he's had in his on his stable pretty much promoted themselves, and he don't like to promote for these fighters, and if they don't promote themselves, he knocks them, which makes no sense whatsoever because that's what you're getting paid to do. I don't know how you can't promote Bud Crawford for what he does in the ring and what he does when they even talking about fighting. He like a dog for real. He like a Clubber Lang. Yeah, like and then he talking shit in the ring too. Like, did you get what you want, motherfucker? Like
wait a minute. Hold up.
That energy.
I'm your promoter. My job is to promote. Your job is to fight. That's your only job is when I get a fight set up for you to show up. That's your only real job. I'm your promoter. My job as the promoter is to promote you. That's what my job is. That's why you came to me in the first place. Was because I can promote you and get you and catapult your name and your career because you can do so much of it by yourself. That's the purpose of a promoter. So you come to me as a promoter so you can promote yourself. If that's the case, you don't need me. What do you need me for?
Right, but you know what it is the reason why people sign with Bob is because Bob gets them the title shot. He like grandfathered in, so they can get a shot. They could get a shot at that title, but when it comes to certain fighters, he'd be like, and that's why he can't stand Bud because he got to pay Bud that extra $1 million whenever it ain't Spence and whenever it ain't Manny Pacquiao.
And that's not Bud's fault.
Right, because he outsmarted him on the contract.
And
that's why he bitter. He bitter, man.
What people say is like Bud got no swag outside of the ring. Really, he's a great fighter, but he just got no swag outside of the ring, And the thing is too, Bob Arum, he's a dinosaur promoter. We in 2021, there's social media, there's platforms to use. I don't think Bob Arum can really understand this, man. He's too old. We training right now, baby. Just came from the gym. We training right now. Let's go.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, why not push Bud Crawford, who's known for his competitive spirit? You can't beat this motherfucking ping pong without him getting mad. Like, you can promote this dude. You just need a different angle on how you do it. And if he feels like you ain't doing it yourself, then he don't care. He like, nah, man, I ain't helping you out. You got it. Golden Boy promoted himself. It's like, yeah, but that was the Golden Boy. He didn't need much promotion. He had the it factor. He was the golden boy. He was a gold medalist. You know what I mean? He had all those things going for him. Manny Pacquiao, he didn't have to promote Manny. You know what I mean? He didn't have to promote Floyd, really. And then when Floyd, all these guys got away from him, for some reason they did better.
Mm-hmm. I think with Oscar, it was like you said.
Bud really got a country behind him.
Yeah, and I think with him being a gold medalist, being Mexican, appealing to the Mexican fan base, it's not hard because Mexicans go ham for their own. You know what I mean? So that's an easy sell right there. Floyd is Floyd. Floyd could sell himself. He's flashy, flamboyant. That's who Floyd is. I don't have to really promote him. He gonna do it himself. So basically, Bob just fucking lazy. Because when you got Eddie Hearn promoting Billy Joe Saunders and shit, only thing I made at Eddie Hearn about because he didn't promote Boo Boo like that. He didn't promote Boo Boo Andrade like he promoted Billy Joe.
I put it like this. This will prove your point. The moment that Rigondeaux beat fuck, how can I forget that? The Filipino Flash.
Nonito
Donaire. Big ups to him for what he's doing right now too. But as soon as he beat him and they were sitting there, he was like, how am I going to promote this guy? He was just knocking his own fighter on his stable, immediately knowing that he couldn't figure out an angle to promote. He couldn't promote the dude. He was like, this guy's boring, and he calling his own fighters boring. He calling his old fighters like it's like this dude need to get out the game and just hand it over to his son or let somebody some fresh, you know what I mean, motherfuckers get in there because he done, man. He just ain't doing his thing no more. Like it just I'm not for Bob, and he's cheap. He cheap as shit.
Mm-hmm.
How you underhand Teofimo and try to tell the zone not to bid on a fight? That's illegal.
Yeah.
That's your fighter. You still getting paid your percentage, whether this dude get the fight or he don't. And the more money he makes, the more money
you get. Right.
Why are you so concerned? That's what I don't understand about it, man. I don't understand it. The biggest payday that Jamal Charlo would have been against Andre, and L would have definitely got a bigger cut than he ever got. You know why? He don't want to share his brand. These guys don't want to share their brand, and they don't want to share their money. That's all it is. They ain't out for the fighter. They out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as they throwing them a bone, they happy. I could give you easy fights and get you a decent payday. And you could just keep doing that, and you'll be the champ forever.
Forever. Think about it though. That's like the bro. You live in the American dream, man. Look, man, check this out. Just don't worry about that. They want you to get your head bashed in. They want you to not be able to be there for your kids and your grandkids when you old. Forget them. I'm trying to get you paid. Trying to get you in this fat house, driving nice cars. You know what I'm saying? So you and your family and your kids can live a lavish life. That's what it is. Fuck the fans. Fuck what we want. Fuck what we think. Fuck what we talking about. Right. All they care about is fighting the fights that they fighting and living a lavish life.
And
that's
fuck
it.
boxing as a whole. The essence of boxing for what it is, the warrior sport. Fuck that. And it's just like, come on, man. Why are you popular? Because you're a fighter. But you don't want to fight.
Yeah.
And you got meat shields that's gonna jump in front of you, like, yeah, that's right. You ain't fought nobody. Yeah. We out here. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you doing? Like, you hurting boxing, man. You hurting boxing. You hurting the game. Like, yo, since when do people praise motherfuckers that don't want to fight motherfuckers? Like, what the fuck is the game turning into? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And they're like, oh, it's changed. You know, this is the new era. You got to get with the times. It's like, get with the times of what? Fighters not fighting each other? Like, come on, man. Like, fuck it, side of the street. If these fighters want these fights, at what point can they not call their promoter up and say, make the fight happen and hang up the phone?
That's what Wilder did with Fury, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He went in and he got it. I ain't mad at him for getting that third fight because if it was under contract, it is. I am upset as a fan that we didn't get undisputed because, unfortunately, I don't care who wins that fight in that next trilogy. I don't think either one of them motherfuckers gonna fight Anthony Joshua because they both showed me that they didn't want to.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think we get an undisputed heavyweight champion. I don't think so because every time it gets close to possibly happening, it's always something that shows that it's not going to happen. The same thing happened earlier with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Every time we thought the fight was going to happen, it didn't happen. And when Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz, we really was like, oh, it's really not happening now. And then when Anthony Joshua got the belt back, still wasn't happening because everybody was still throwing the loss of Andy Ruiz over Anthony Joshua as a means to not making the fight happen. So that's just a bunch of bogus bullshit. Then Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder, and we think the fight gonna actually happen, undisputed and all that shit. And then we are now here,
right? And they knew that the court shit was going on behind closed doors the whole entire time.
Mm-hmm. They knew.
And this dude pulling all the money. They was gonna build a stadium, everything, and then motherfuckers mad at Eddie for that shit. I don't get it. I'm like, yo. Now, if Eddie start acting like Bob and Al, then what? You know, why would you be mad at that as a fan? Why would you be mad at Undisputed? I just don't. That's what I don't get. Please, somebody explain it to me so I could better understand. I would like to know what's the reasoning behind this shit.
I will. You are top rank. You run 140 pounds, right? So PBC, what division do PBC run? Welterweights, middleweight, or light middle? because they run 54, 47, 54, 47, and not 130. But I know they got 54 and 47. That's PBC. So Jermell Charlo wins all the belts at 54. Who runs 154 pounds? PBC.
Right.
PBC. They run it. Right? So you AJ, Eddie Hearn, you got all the belts. I'm Wilder. I got my one belt. If we are stupid enough to go fight this dude, 9 times out of 10, we probably gonna lose. We're not gonna tell Wilder that, but we probably gonna lose. So we only have this dude representing heavyweight boxing in America. It's only this guy that's really gonna represent that. Only this guy is gonna represent our brand in the heavyweight division. And if we lose to this dude, that guy over there, all the belts is gonna be over there. They gonna have all the real estate. They can control everything. They gonna be able to dictate everything. We ain't gonna be able to do shit. We ain't gonna have no real estate. So when we get a belt, we gotta hold on to that because that gives us real estate. That gives us a sense of dictation and control. So if we give all that shit over there to them, we can't run shit. We gotta do whatever Eddie say because Eddie got all the belts. So when we get our one belt, we gotta control this shit. We gotta control the level of the playing field.
But I gotta say, this is what I gotta say. I ain't mad at Deontay Wilder for taking that man to court because this is why. Because if Tyson Fury pulled that fight off, he was gonna retire. I really feel like he was gonna retire. So he would have never got that shot at them belts because now he has nothing to go on other than they gotta wait on AJ to give him a shot. You know, because you got the Usyk, you got other people lined up, mandatories. So he like, I needed that to stay in the mix. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at him, and the contract was signed. I'm not mad at him, but I am mad at Fury and Bob for spitting in Boxer's face.
See you without it.
Yeah, because I mean that would have been I know he would have made more money, and Eddie Hearn was willing to give Tyson Fury half. And they knew that the fight wasn't going to happen the whole time. And it was free promotion for this Tyson Fury Wilder fight the whole time. And they made it so that side burned their bridges with the Saudis. You know what I mean? Because, now we can't get it. How didn't you know? And blah, 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 blah. So it was a strategic move, but it hurts boxing. And the reason it hurts boxing is because if Eddie gets on that shit, like, fuck it, they just worried about days. I'm going to be worried about mine. We ain't never, ever going to get the fights. Ever. So, man, I ain't meat shielding for that shit.
I'm not paying for Wilder Fury 3 either, so don't think I'm paying for it. I catch that shit on the highlights when they come on YouTube the next day or some shit. Because I'm not finna, I just feel like that was a bogus ploy. Y'all heavyweights getting used the clout of Anthony Joshua to propel a career. And I feel like we do live in an era where fighters are, I'm not saying fighters never did it before, but we live in an era where it's like normal. It's like fighters are literally using the clout of bigger name fighters to promote themselves, to make themselves look bigger than what they are. And for everybody to use Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's team to use Anthony Joshua and the possibility of Undisputed happening as a means to promote a future Fury Wilder 3 fight, bro, it's bogus.
And I miss the anticipation of guys fighting for title eliminators, guys climbing up the rankings, and they're going to get a shot at the champion. The champion ain't going to drop the belt, move up, or they're going to shuck and jive and elevate this man to bullshit champion and hand a belt to another motherfucker, because that's where it all starts to hit the fan, you know. And then you got people taking it out on the fighters when it's when they really not at fault. I don't fault Teofimo and I don't fault Devin Haney for that whole WBC thing. I completely fault or even Lomachenko. I fault Suleiman for coming up with that bullshit.
Yep. That's Suleiman's fault for coming up with that shit, man. That
and then changed the rules last minute. Oh, now it's transferable. Last minute.
What?
I was like, yeah, nah, man, you got to have some sort of sustainability and some consistency so that we know what we're looking at. If this guy beats this guy, he's going to be able to fight this guy, whether you like it or not.
And what's funny about that, what's fucked up, is now with that being the norm, fighters like Dillian Whyte will never get the proper respect and just that they are deserved because of the situations that we're in today. Because Dillian Whyte should get a title shot.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck if you like his fighting style or not. Dillian Whyte should get a title shot.
And how many top contenders he been in there with all this time, fighting like hard fights all the time, and then when he gets beat or slept, they go, he's exposed. But at least he's getting in there. Yeah, like this motherfucker ain't fought nobody, and he's a champion, and y'all bigging him up like he the man. You know what I mean? Manufactured.
There with top dude, and finally lose. See, I told you he was a bum. Told you nothing. It's like, but he's fighting.
You can focus your energy on all types of shit, like the fact that they just took the belt away from Ugas. But then people are gonna say, well, he didn't earn it. Well,
neither did Devin Haney.
They gave it to him. Neither did Haney. But how quick were they to take it away from Devin Haney when he hurt his shoulder?
Not that quick.
They were. They snatched they took that WBC away from him immediately. And then when they fought for it, they gave it back to him. They said, oh, well, he didn't earn it, whatever. Then people say that he didn't earn it. It's like, is that his fault though? But Spence can flip a car and he can maintain his belts. Manny could fight, not fight for 2 years, and they could take the belt, give it back to him, whatever. You know what I mean? But Haney gets injured and they were quick to take that shit from him. And I'm just like, that's the type of non-consistency that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that. This dude injured himself in training, meaning he was doing the right thing in the process. He wasn't resting. He wasn't drinking. He wasn't doing no shit like that. He was trying to benefit himself and doing the shit that he needed to do for the sport. And then you're going to just snatch it. And if you're going to snatch it from everybody, I get it. But if you ain't going to snatch it from people not doing the right thing, well, then there's favoritism. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you can cook on it. All types of shit in boxing, this bullshit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, YouTubers don't have more balls than all though. What it is hypothetical. 1-2 Kid has 6.8 million followers. I have 5.5 million followers. Every video that we create average between 600,000 to 2 million views per video, right? So we got dumbass eyes on us. Like one of these promoters see that, and they see that 1-2 Kid beefing. We always talking shit about each other. We always talking about he don't know this, he say I don't know, whatever, right? So we got our own little YouTube beef going on. 1-2 Kid is a Mexican guy. I'm a black guy.
I'm not Mexican, yo. But I get it.
Latin? What descendant?
I'm Native American Sicilian.
Okay, so Native American Sicilian, black guy. I'm finna sell this shit. Only reason why I say just Mexican because you always got the damn green, red, and white flag.
Yeah,
that's your fault.
Nah, it's the same flag. That's the Italian flag.
So they try to put us in there to fight, right? We got all these millions of followers, so they put us in there to fight because of our fan base. And the promoter is looking at the big fan base between us. They're looking at the feud between us, and they could sell that. They could sell the feud because we have a feud, and they also could sell it because we hella popular. So they're not really on the whole little we all got balls. Eddie Hearn come up to me or 1-2 Kid and say, hey, look, man, I see you guys got your little beef, got your little following going on. How about you guys come on my show? I do a show, and you guys can main event it, and you guys can fight on a boxing card. I'll pay you guys $20 million a piece. You think me and 1-2 Kid gonna say no?
I'll be there with my towel. I'm like, if my trainer don't show up, I'm like, I got this. I got this. And I'm gonna try to win because I want another payday like this.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's not that they got more balls. It's the generation we living in. Like we saying, when a boxer has a million followers on Instagram or a million followers on Twitter, they use that to manipulate it. Just like with YouTubers. Logan Paul has 25 million subscribers. 25 million. Every video of Logan Paul averages between 1 to 5 million views.
The numbers.
So this
there.
dude has over 1 million people looking at him every time he show his face.
Even if they don't know what they're looking at.
Right.
They looking.
You got to for sure million though. Like 1-2 Kid, every time you do a video, you guaranteed 1 million at the minimum. That's money, bro. Promoters are seeing that and thinking dollar signs. Come on. Easy. Of course they gonna make that fight happen. And they finna pay me out the ass. Yep, I'll fight 1-2 Kid. Even if he is the better boxer and all that, but I don't give a fuck. You finna pay me $20 million to get in the ring and fight in front of my fan base and a casual boxing fan base. Gonna have real fighters fight under me? Hell yeah, I'll do that shit. And I'm gonna get paid more than them? I'll do it. Sure. No problem.
You get to meet Snoop and everything else, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I get the platforms now, and that's what sells. But I just don't want boxing to lose itself in the process. You know what I'm saying?
I don't either.
Because that's what you know. One of the loves for the sport that I have is like, you know, I like what it was. It was a warrior sport. I just don't want to shy away. I ain't really got nothing against these fighters and them getting money. I'm just like, just don't lose track of what it's all about. Like, you know, don't make it into something that it's not, and don't destroy it in the process of getting. Because what happens when people do stop watching this and they do lose the interest in it? You know, it's going to be sold out, milked, and then it's going to be nothing, and it's going to die. And I think that's
you know what, though? I think I think that's what's going to happen. Not it dying, but I think people are going to get tired because eventually the casual fan is going to be like, "Why didn't I fight?" And it's always this, always that. It's like I don't watch it. It's going to be too much. Even if an excuse is justified, it's going to always be something, and people are going to get tired of that after. It's like it's always something. I don't want to deal with it. Just always. This guy don't want to do this. This guy don't want to do that. This is like, then once they start seeing that the regular casual fan is not trying to watch the sport, then you're going to start seeing fighters say, all right, now we got to fight each other because we're losing.
They're going to eventually, that's what I think is going to turn into. That Sideshow Bob shit going to wear off. The effect going to wear off. It's going to get old. And they're going to have to try to pull it back together. And by that time, they're going to lose all their real fans in the process. So, I mean, I think that's what we're getting away from. When guys are literally headlining over real fighters, professional fighters that are no joke, and put a lot of heart into the game, I think that's the first sign, man. You know, like, so I mean, that's what I'm trying to, you know, that's what I'll be talking about on my channel anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just trying to keep the shit like in line a little bit. You know what I mean? Have some consistency in the game.
Right. Gotta keep it that way, man. Because you got people that's really pushing these narratives, man. It's like, and just like, I'm gonna go back to Dillian White. Daniel Dubois fight before this last one was against Joe Joyce. Got stopped. Daniel Dubois he fights a guy nobody really gives a shit about, a guy that Big Baby Miller beat the shit out of, probably because he was on all the juice. And now Daniel Dubois is next in line for a title shot. Daniel Dubois is next in line for a title shot over Dillian White. How that work? How that work? How?
Yeah, coming off a loss. And
you
where's
fought good up.
And the guy who beat him, where's he at?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where he at? Where Joe Joyce?
Joe Joyce, yeah.
What happened to him? Right.
Yeah, he looks like a sloth, but for some reason, them punches be landing. And they land with some serious effect.
Right. So you telling me Daniel Dubois could lose to Joe Joyce, come back, fight a no-name guy, and now he next in line for a title shot over Joe Joyce, who beat him,
Yeah, the
and
ranking
over
system's
Dillian
fucked
White.
up too. Yeah,
Right. And over Dillian White, who just won the WBC Eliminator against Alexander Povetkin, who recently beat him, who he came back and knocked him out.
Yo, who was it that Canelo fought? That Benavidez was supposed to fight. That was
Yanni
ranked number
Yildirim.
one. Yildirim. How the hell was that guy ranked number one? Like that's another thing we could cook on if you want. I'm like, how the fuck? How does that work? How'd that ranking system work where that man was number one? I don't know, man. That's when you see the favoritism, and the politics in boxing. That's why I try to avoid the shit, but it's just there in your face. Like, why ain't nobody talking about that?
Mm-hmm. Because you shit on anything Canelo, you a hater. It's the same thing with all these, with certain fighters. It's the same shit. It don't matter. Canelo, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence, Vasily Lomachenko, and now Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. You say anything about any of those 7 fighters, anything against any of them, and it could be true.
They got a following. But I mean, when you big them up when they doing good, it's all good. When you say something about them, you a hater.
You a hater.
You a hater. You for any criticism. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because that's the difference between boxer fans and man fans.
Say it again.
and there's more man fans than there are boxing fans, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Like
I'm a Teo fan. I like Teofimo, but I've never called Teofimo undisputed. Ever.
I like Teofimo like a
Is it his fault? No, it's not his fault, but he's still not undisputed. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to cap for him. You know what I mean? I'm not going to cap and say, yeah, he got to get that Devin Haney work if you want to be undisputed. That's just a fact.
I like him. I just don't like what he said about Josh Taylor.
What did he say about Josh Taylor?
He said that Josh Taylor is going to avoid him. He said we're going to move up to 40 and trying to avoid him and all that type of shit. And I'm like,
well, he probably saying that. He probably just saying that so that he don't take off. He just he's planting a narrative to try to get in there with him.
But he
That's what it sounds like to me. But to
Josh
even
Taylor.
knock that dude, Josh Taylor ain't afraid of Teofimo Lopez.
Right. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, he not afraid. This all Josh Taylor said. He said, I wouldn't mind entertaining a Bud Crawford fight. He didn't say nothing about I want to fight at 47, fight Errol Spence, and he didn't say shit about that. He said I wouldn't mind entertaining a Terrence Crawford fight.
I'll put it like this. We know that's cap because if he got in there with Crawford and anybody, I would go on any channel and flame the shit out of anybody that said that he ducked Teofimo to fight Bud Crawford is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard as a boxing fan. As long as I've been a boxing fan.
I'm telling you.
Like, because that is so much more of a risk. You know what I'm saying? You getting up there and you fighting Bud Crawford and you say, "Oh man, yeah, but he ducked me." If Teofimo said that shit, I'd be like, "Man, you all
bro, cut it out, cut it out." It's like, man. So if I had a choice to fight a guy who's a unified champion in a division lower than me, he would have to move up, of course. Fight this dude. He really ain't accomplished that much, but he a unified champ. I could either fight him or I could fight the guy who is actually number 2 pound for pound right now, 3 division, 2-time lineal, and former undisputed champion in a division that I'm currently undisputed in. And this guy's the only person that went undisputed in this division.
All stoppages. And when he moved up.
Think about that for a second.
Yep. Already undisputed, and there was no dispute.
None. Okay?
It then went up and won a title from a guy who beat a legend. Some people would debate that. I get it, but
it happened.
I don't see anybody trying to get in the ring with Bud.
I'm just saying. What's the better opponent? Moving up and fighting Bud, or waiting for Teofimo to get his shit together and him coming up to 140 and fighting you? I'm gonna fight Bud.
I'll tell you what's sad that undisputed fighter at a weight class below is the only one willing to get in the ring with the guy holding one belt in one division at that moment. How sad is that? How long has he had that WBO? How come there's no unification? And I hate to say it, but it's just these guys literally were pricing themselves out to fight. Why did they want more money to fight Bud than any other fighter that they did fight, and then say that the dude deserves less? You're pricing him. You're telling me that he's worth more than you.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like literally, if you really look at it, like who was calling for the Thurman Porter fight? Anybody? I'm not saying it's a bad fight. I'm not saying it's not a competitive fight, but who is clamoring for this rematch? Nobody. Everybody would have much rather. I don't think anybody in this chat would have wanted to see that fight rather than see either one of those guys get in there with Bud Crawford.
Yep, because everybody was talking about Bud and Sean Porter and Bud, but nobody talking no. And that's funny how everybody talk about Sean Porter and Bud, and we get Keith Thurman and Sean Porter too, possibly finna be next. And who the winner's supposed to fit? What is it going to say about the winner? What if Keith Thurman beat Sean Porter again?
I mean, I seen the narrative being spun that Bud Crawford ducked Manny Pacquiao. I was like, how? They tried to make the fight happen. Bob really don't want to make the fight happen because he don't like Manny. You know, if you bring up a fighter that used to be signed with him, he going to diss the shit out of him, whether it be Floyd, whether it be De La Hoya, whether it be Mikey Garcia. You know what I mean? He going to knock him, and he knock his own fighters. But, I mean, I just don't get it. Like, these guys pricing themselves out of the fight. They don't really want to get in there with him. And they want extra money to fight him more so than what they want from the guys they wind up fighting. And I don't know what the offers are, but man, they want like, you gotta give me 10 million. That's what Keith Thurman said. Did he want 10 million to fight to fight Earl Spence? Did he want 10 million to fight Sean Porter? Then what's that tell you? That he's paying, he don't even believe in himself. He cashing out. Shit, you cashing out when you fight the Bud because you know that there's good chance that there's an ass whooping on the other side of that. So I mean that's the only thing that I can see. I'm not saying that these guys can't beat him. I'm saying they ain't even willing to try.
It is what it is. They don't want to fight each other. Like I told y'all earlier with Jamal Charlo. He's piping up this dude, Juan Montiel. Who the fuck is Juan Montiel? He's saying he putting his life on the line and life in danger and all that. Juan Montiel don't pose no threats to Jamal Charlo. What so motherfucking ever. Mario Barrios, a guy who started his career at 122 pounds, moved up one killer belt at 140 pounds. He poses no threats. No real significant threats to Gervonta Tank Davis. They don't. Gervonta Tank Davis is nothing of anything close to Floyd Money Mayweather. I don't care what they say or what they say on All Access. None of that shit. He fight the best at 130. He didn't fight the best at 135. And he damn sure ain't fighting even half of the best at 140. So how are you comparing him to Floyd? Why are y'all making that narrative? Showtime, All Access. Why are y'all creating that narrative? That shit bogus. It's bogus.
And if you go get in there and fight one of these guys that you saying ain't nothing and ain't worth your time, watch your followers jump. If that's what you're doing it for, watch them jump up. You watch your paydays jump up. Watch the legacy jump up. Watch the, you know what I mean? The real fame, the real legacy kick in, and watch how you're respected wherever you go. Yep. You know what I mean?
And like I said, man, I don't feel like no fighter except for, like I said, 4 fighters are the best in boxing. 3 are women. I repeat, there are 4 fighters in boxing that are the best in boxing. Only 4. 3 are women.
Shout out to all the fighters that are trying to bet, go out there and prove that they're the best in their division. You know what I mean?
1 in Josh Taylor, this man right here. It's right on the background. Josh Taylor, undisputed, got everything.
Facts.
You got Clarissa Shields, middleweight, women's.
Facts.
Katie Taylor, lightweight, everything, women's.
Facts.
And Jessica McCaskill, welterweight, got everything. Are there any other fighters in boxing aside for those 4 fighters that hold every belt in the division to where they can say that they are the man or they are the one of that division? Like 1-2 said, shout out, hats off to all the other fighters, man and woman alike, that are trying to pursue undisputed. Shout out to you. We ain't talking about y'all. We talking about the bitch ass motherfuckers that's not pursuing undisputed in a real way, but at the same time lying to the fans and they want to be undisputed.
Yeah, the hell with them motherfuckers hiding their belt in their basement.
Exactly. All right,
And they
so we
own.
got 4. We don't care about the O. We don't care. Who care? Only people that care about the O is you promoters.
They got their O in a vault.
Feel me?
You can't touch it.
Exactly. And on that note, we out of here, man. Thank you,
Peace.
1-2, keep it sliding through, man. Appreciate you, UGC. Shout out to the whole
Always a pleasure,
chat.
man.
Appreciate you coming through, man. It's always a pleasure. We out this bitch.